Capability Centers, GCCs, have become an essential part of multinational business strategies. Originally established to handle support functions at lower cost, GCCs have transformed into innovation hubs for business intelligence, digital transformation, and advanced research. With companies increasingly relying on GCCs for critical operations, ranging from IT and data analytics to finance and customer experience, the competition for skilled talent has intensified. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Analytics Insight podcast, where we decode innovation, technology, and the tools that are reshaping the way we live. Now, the success of a capability center depends on its ability to attract, hire, and retain top professionals who can drive innovation, optimize processes, and support global business functions. However, GCC hiring comes with its share of complexities as well. Now, companies need to navigate talent shortages, compliance with local labor laws, and the need for specialized skills. So, let's welcome Rajesh Bharatiya, CEO and founder of Peoplefy, to help us understand more about the evolving landscape of GCCs and how we can keep up with the need for specialized skills in an era that is truly driven by digitization. Hi, Rajesh, how are you doing?
Very well, Priya. Thanks for asking. And so happy to be on your show today.
Great. It's a pleasure to have you with us on a podcast today, Rajesh. And of course, we are going to touch upon a very interesting a niche and a theme today in our podcast. But before we dive deeper into our conversation today, we would like to know more about Peoplefy, a very interesting name. So if you could help us understand more about the company, its specialization, it would be great.
Thank you. So Peoplefy is one of its kind technology-driven talent solutions platform. It's a company started by ex-software engineers and IIT graduates in 2011, and we have redefined how recruitment is shaping up, especially for GCCs and all the digital space hiring. Over last 14 years, we have been the trusted partner for more than 300 plus global clients across various sectors like technology, retail, automotive, banking, and a large portion of those are global capability centers.
Great. Thank you for that overview, Rajesh. And I'm really glad to know how Peoplefy is positioning itself in such a dynamic space. And I'm really, happy to understand the value and the impact the company is driving. And because, we have now discussed the core of what your organization does, I would also like to zoom in a bit more on your personal journey as well. You have 18 plus years of experience in the industry, specifically in the US HR tech space, and you bring a rare blend of technical expertise with human centric thinking. So, we would like to also know more about you, Rajesh. How has the journey been till date? What triggered the birth of Peoplefy, and if you could help us understand your vision, your playbook, or what exactly is your role towards the company?
Certainly. So, Priya, so you rightly said I'm a unique blend of technology and HR knowledge and experience. So I'm a graduate from IIT Kharagpur. I'm 96 pass out. I was campus placed in a company called Sonata Software to develop software for their clients, and then went abroad to the US. Worked there for another 5 years with a software product company in the HR space, and while working on those assignments, especially in HR area, I got more lured towards HR as a subject, and also saw that probably India needs a tech-driven HR solutions firm, and that's how I decided to quit my job, come back to India, and start this company, Peoplefy, to help companies, either Indian companies or foreign companies coming to India, help find quality talent with speed and with consistency. And we have received several awards for what we have done so far. So that has been a quick recap on the journey. And I was also on the other side of the table in like I was heading HR for a company called Vertex Software, which is now part of NTT Data, Japan's largest IT company. So bring to the table a various kind of experience, blend of technology, HR, and talent. These are my areas of interest, and we are blending all of it here together in Peoplefy. We have developed our own proprietary software to provide services to our customers through a cloud-based, AI-enabled software. So those are some of things I quickly wanted to share with you.
Thank you for that breakdown and helping us, walk through your journey and the value you bring to the organization. That's incredibly fascinating, and I'm really happy to understand that your leadership or your role is more about shaping the strategic direction of the company and driving a real impact. Now let's build on that perspective and explore the wider landscape you're operating in. Now, the last 30 plus years, we have seen global capability centers evolve from single function shared services to multifunctional digital led global businesses services. Now, new age GCCs are now delivering complex judgment and decision based activities while continuing to centralize and automate the more transaction activities. Now, they are leveraging technology to drive transformation and deploy a more agile operating model. More than just a cost saving initiative, I think they are now seen as a truly strategic partner for an enterprise and also a source for sustained competitive advantage. Now, to begin with, could you share your perspective on how GCCs, specifically in India, are evolving in their talent strategies, specifically when it comes to hiring for niche or highly specialized roles?
Yeah, that's a very good question, Priya. You rightly said the GCC movement, which has gone through many name changes, back office, global in-house centers, captive centers, and in the beginning of the journey, they were more of a customer service center, with very transactional data entry or voice kind of processes being, run from India. But over the years, as the market has matured and the US and Europe geographies, they've learned about India's capability in other technology areas. The GCCs have evolved to become the core of their parent organization. They've become like a global innovation and R&D hubs for their parent organization. And these innovations are now directly impacting either the top line or the bottom line of the larger global enterprises they are part of. So now it's more of a strategic you know presence or a strategic move that companies are taking to be in India. It's no longer just about cost arbitrage. It has moved up the value chain quite a lot. Plus, another thing we need to note here is after the COVID-19, there is a paradigm shift in the world in terms of how the world works from where they work. And everything has moved to digital, from customers to suppliers to employees. Everybody is connected through a digital ecosystem. So this has pushed the demands for digital skills overall, and especially for GCCs. So now GCCs are building their data science capabilities, AI ML capabilities, cybersecurity, user experience design, and some of those IoT, industrial automation, cloud. These are some of the latest areas where GCCs are focusing in the niche skill area.
Definitely, and I think I mean that's a really insightful perspective. And I mean, after listening to you, it's clear that the talent strategies of the GCCs are no longer just about scale, but also precision as to how you're building depth in every specific area that can drive innovation globally. I mean, I completely agree with you that GCCs have evolved to become more of a global innovation hub, and they're also impacting the top and the bottom line of these larger organizations. So when you're talking about the specialization, like the niche talent, I mean,
Mhm.
whether like you mentioned, GCCs are building their own specialization, IoT, cybersecurity. So in terms of hiring the niche talent, be it AI or cybersecurity, data science, so I think it's not just about hiring. It's more about creating ecosystems that can nurture this experience and expertise over time. Let's build on that further, Rajesh.
Yeah,
Uh,
just wanted to add something if that is okay.
sure,
Uh,
sure, please.
a couple of quick examples like Airbus in India, they have designed a very important component of the latest engine of the aircraft from Indian. the R&D center. So this is going to their new product. So new product development is happening, and this has in turn there's a lot of activity in aerospace area in India. There are drone companies that come up. So not only GCCs are hiring this kind of capable engineers or nurturing them in India, there's a overflow effect of those people coming out from GCCs and starting some India-based startup, which can be in any of those niche technology areas. So that's another. Overall, the ecosystem is gaining from this movement. Is I wanted to add.
No, definitely. I think thank you for citing that example, and I'm sure our listeners would now be more, able to relate with the current scenario of GCCs and how it is evolving, and of course, impacting the entire hiring process as well. So, talking about the hiring process, I think the hiring process for capability centers involves multiple stages, which requires careful planning and execution. Now, unlike traditional hiring, which we follow standardized approach, GCC approach or recruitment may be very adaptive and technology driven to meet the demands of these global operations. While we discussed, that GCCs are now coming up with their own specialization, which is again tech focused and tech driven. I want to understand the other side as to how these technologies, especially AI or automation, playing an important role in helping GCCs identify and attract and retain talent across all these emerging domains.
Certainly. I think so. You rightly said hiring for GCC is slightly different from a regular IT services company than how the top five of India would hire. Those are more like a mass hiring, that goes through a certain template. But GCC is very niche and specific into what they want, and the processes are very well defined. The expectations are very high in terms of technical capability of the candidates and also their cultural alignment, the communication skill. And also there will be multiple rounds of interview. There could be stakeholders in outside India, in US or Europe. They may take the final decision on the candidate in some cases. So it has to be a very thoroughly designed process for GCCs, and that's where somebody like Peoplefy, who's a specialist in hiring GCC, comes into play along with using these technologies. So there are various use of the AI analytics and other technologies, and they are at various stages of adoption right now. While sometimes I would say the talk is slightly more than actual adoption is my belief, especially in the hiring space. So how they're using, one is there are tools nowadays. They can stack rank the CVs of candidate through various databases or social media or through any other GitHub or any such places. They can, using AI, they can say these are the top 30, 40, 50 candidates who are matching. The other side of this matching is there's AI versus AI. Is the candidates are also very smart nowadays to create a CV which perfectly matches using ChatGPT to the JD. So that's another side of it. But then that's one area where AI is being used. And secondly, I think in where I think really there's a value add is in AI-based assessments. And so a lot of time the HR recruiter may not be so well versed with technologies being evaluated. So they need assistance of somebody technically well aware, and now AI can do a lot of those technical assessment. That's another area. Then also in terms of engaging with candidates, using chatbots or personalized messages, with using AI now you can maybe send 1,000 emails in a couple of minutes, and these are all customized to individual, which was earlier used to take maybe several days or maybe weeks to complete. Similarly, these are, and also another area once, so the AI can impact the complete journey of the talent, from discovering the talent to evaluating and getting them onboarded. And then even in retention, there are some tools which do predictive analysis or sentiment analysis of existing employees. What are the chances of their attrition? what would be the risk to the organization, and how do they can mitigate, create a backup. So these are some value adds which AI and analytics is helping in the talent space.
Definitely. Thank you for sharing that, Rajesh. I mean, when we talk about, these technologies like AI or, data analytics, I think its role in the talent strategy is no longer just about efficiency or automation, but, and specifically in the GCC's landscape, I think it's about creating a smarter, a more predictive, and a more personalized talent ecosystems. And of course, you rightly mentioned that when talking about AI, I think it's, GCCs can definitely have more efficiency where they can forecast future skill needs, understand employee motivations, and also create tailored growth plans. So I think we are shifting from a very reactive hiring to a proactive talent curation.
Right.
And
Mhm.
I believe, tech is at the heart of that evolution.
Yeah.
Now, moving ahead, of course, we spoke about how these technologies are reshaping the entire landscape over here. But with access to leading talent in India, GCCs have taken up a larger role in driving digitization and innovation across enterprises, with giving more emphasis on digital enablement. And it's really, I mean, it's helped organization to make their current processes more touchless and I think customer focused. So I think GCCs here are taking a lead role in identifying and driving the innovation by introducing these new technologies where we have robotic process automation or business intelligence reporting, so which can be scaled across the enterprise. So how do you think GCCs are leveraging digital platforms, something maybe Peoplefy or skill matching algorithms or a talent intelligence tool to streamline niche hiring and improve its accuracy?
Now, definitely, I think there's a lot of advancement in this tool's capability. I just wanted to quickly make one point. This is my 2 decades of experience that human touch is not going to go away anytime soon. So these are the different maybe parts of the journey, and they are connected by a human touch. Is what I would say to give the ultimate experience to a prospective candidate or existing employee. Now, coming to your question about some of these tools, like I said, there are some digital platforms. They can analyze different kind of data of candidates, maybe structured or unstructured. From maybe if there's an internal ATS, they can go through millions of database of the candidates, or they can go to any social media crawling and then GitHub or Kaggle or various other such sources. So there could be one source, one application which can scout candidates on various platforms. And then the next part comes about them matching against the JD's primary skills required for that particular position. AI can also help stack rank those CVs. So that's another benefit. Then comes the assessment part. So there are companies like Codility, HackerRank, they can automate the assessment where candidates can take the assessment um, at their own time. We don't have to wait for the schedule because all conducted through a platform. So these are some of the benefits that companies are getting, and also by depending more on technology assessment tools rather than human for the technical part, I think they're getting higher accuracy in fitment, and also they're able to eliminate any bias, human bias that may be there. So these are my quick comments on this.
Definitely makes sense. And, thank you for breaking that down. And of course, when you're talking about these technologies, I think it's kind of optimizing niche hiring. And with the integration of, specific platforms or skill matching algorithms, it's increasing the precision of hiring and especially for, future critical roles. And like you mentioned, it's bringing more precision, it's eliminating bias. And of course, human touch is definitely that we all need. I mean, whether we have some cutting edge platforms which are kind of automating or taking care of lengthy and time consuming tasks. I think eventually the human perspective is something, or the critical thinking that we need is something that we will never go away. So I think having a balance of technology as well as human insight is something that can help in having GCCs have truly intelligent and context aware hiring decisions.
Right. There's another thing I wanted to share right here, if it is okay.
Sure,
It's
sure.
about our experience. I'm speaking from actual experience. So, whenever we trigger an AI-based assessment, and if that call goes to the candidate, or the message goes to the candidate, the response may be slightly lukewarm, or maybe not as enthusiastic from the candidate. But if a human recruiter calls up saying that, hey, we have scheduled you for so and so, then immediately the response goes up. So that's where I'm saying the human touch will be required in the near future as well. Nothing, there is no one button that you press and the candidate appears on the premises of the company. We don't have that technology as yet.
Right, definitely. And I think thank you for sharing that. I mean that was insightful, and of course that's very much needed in concerning how we are changing. And we are living in an era of rapid technological advancements and changing industry landscapes. So as a result, I think the concept of a stable and a lifelong career has also shifted. I mean, today's job market is characterized by constant evolution, and this evolution, I believe, is driven by innovations in AI, automation, as well as globalization to some extent. So, I think to stay relevant and competitive, professionals must continuously adapt to new demands and opportunities. And that's where upskilling and rescaling play a very important role. So, why upskilling recruiters in AI, ML, and data science industry is a key to future ready hiring?
That's another very interesting question, Priya. I want to make one thing very clear for all our listeners at this point, that most of the time we use AI, ML, and data science in an interchangeable manner, but that is very far from the fact. So recruiters need not upskill in machine learning or data science. They need to upskill in using AI-based applications to enhance the productivity and experience of the candidate. I would say how AI has various use cases through the hiring journey. That's where recruiters need not become data scientists or machine learning people. Those are behind the scene. They just need to know how to use AI and how to save on time, use that time in more meaningful work, and get the transactional work done through this automation. That's where I think they need to upskill themselves. So the recruiters, if there's a fear in some people's mind that whether the jobs will be disappearing, or there's a fear factor, but I think the jobs will be replaced by the same recruiters who know AI, as against those who don't know AI, how to use AI. So that's my perspective here. So upskilling is required in using various AI tools. For example, prompt engineering. How can we use prompts to generate some of our responses, answers through a chat GPT or any such application. So we need to learn as recruiters, we need to learn those things. Or if there are tools to help us do the assessment or help us do the candidate ranking or reach out to candidate, we need to know how to use those tools. So that is the upskilling for recruiters. Rest is not needed.
Yeah, I mean that's a very interesting perspective, Rajesh, because while the entire job market is changing and everybody is in that rat race of upskilling and reskilling themselves. So I think recruiters probably also have that thought of upskilling themselves. But I really like your point that it's not about It's not that recruiters need to become data scientists or to understand AI and ML. I think it's more about having literacy in these domains, and be able to make use of those AI based applications effectively, so that they can ask better questions, they can interpret insights meaningfully, and also partner more effectively with the tech teams. So, I think, like you said, I think it's about humanizing the hiring experience by using some smarter tools, of course, and enabling, recruiters to focus on the one thing that AI can't replace, that is, building genuine and human connections, I would say. So, one last question for you, Rajesh. Now we have discussed the everything about GCCs, and how the entire hiring or the candidate landscape is kind of changing in the GCCs environment. So, looking ahead, what technologies do you see will become more essential in transforming the niche hiring specifically within the GCCs?
So, are we talking about this technologies that will enable the hiring, or the technologies on which GCCs will be they will going after those skills? Is the first one, I guess.
I would, and now since you have asked, both questions, I would love if you could give insights on both of the aspects.
All right. Yeah, I think for the first part, and what could GCCs do to transform or be ahead of the hiring game is one is that through the analytical tools or AI based tools, there needs to be an ability to focus what talent will be required after 2 years, 3 years in the journey. If you are able to see little ahead of time, you can start. The next is to analyze how much is that is already available in house, how much the in-house people need to be upgraded through skill upskilling, and then what parts portion is to get need procured from outside the enterprise, and then maybe there are tools required to give a good mapping of what skill is available in what geography. With this much of information, I think they can plan ahead on niche hiring. That's one. Also, GCCs do partner with universities, or they also work with some of the startups to fit in some of the skills they are not getting readily from other organizations. So these are some of the areas. And in terms of skills, I think we spoke about all the digital skills which are used in new digitized world, which are all your scientists, cybersecurity, or your enterprise software of various types, CRM, Salesforce, SAP, and those, and also anything on the industrial automation, IoT. A lot of factories are now become a computer-driven. Complete plant is managed through a panel which connects through all the machines. So those are the areas where I think new kind of demands will come from the GCCs.
Glad to understand both the aspects, Rajesh, and thank you for those insights. I think GCCs are continuously focusing on enhancing innovation and bringing in overall transformation. And by increasing the scope of delivering digital services or value adding activities, I think GCCs are adopting modern leading edge technologies and building niche skills at scale. Thank you so much, Rajesh, for taking out the time and effort to be on a podcast today and helping us understand that continuous engagement and technology adoption will ensure GCCs remain agile, competitive, and even future ready. With the right frameworks in place, a GCC can become a talent powerhouse, delivering more innovation, operational excellence, and of course, a global growth. So, thank you so much for those insights, Rajesh. It was lovely talking to you.
Thank you so much for having me here.
Great. So, this is for our listeners. I hope you enjoy this conversation. Don't forget to subscribe and share within your network, and stay with us as we continue to spotlight the forces shaping the future of work. Until next time, stay curious and stay niche. You can view all our previous podcasts on Spotify and other leading platforms. Thank you so much.